Hello everybody, how are we today? I am just making sure I can see the live on my other computer so I can see comments coming through a little easier. So give me just a minute. I am here. I can only imagine what people think like when they get on. Hold on a second. Okay, so I am on, I am live. It looks like everything worked out really well here, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. Of course, as soon as I go live, my lawn people show up. And they're right outside the window. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. Everything sounds all right. But other than that, okay. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move forward. It says I sound a little quiet. Not sure what that is about, but I'm going to move forward. Good morning. Hello. Hi, everybody. I sound fine. Okay, cool. Thanks for your help. All right, so let's talk seller leads. Who is excited about learning about that? Now, I've done a podcast on that this week. It's going to come out, I think, tomorrow. I've written a blog on this. So a lot of it's going to be similar, but those aren't out yet because of the live. I want to do the live first so that you guys can actually like see and hear and all of that. Thank you, Leah. I got dressed up today for like once. Okay. So we're going to talk about motivated seller leads that are working for us right now. And we've been doing the same like 6 lists all year because they work so well. I'm going to give you 3 of them today. And some work for virtual. You can do all of them virtual. You can do some of them virtual. That is ultimately up to you. But this is going to be a really like exciting live session because this is the hottest topic and it's something that I get asked every day. Like literally every day is finding seller leads today in this market with the competition out there, all these investors out there and things like that. And so this is going to be really kind of value packed, and this goes for anyone that's new to anyone that is seasoned, already investing and things like that, because these are the leads that I'm doing. I'm not teaching you something that I've learned from somebody else type of thing that they're doing. These are the leads that we're actively doing. So let's talk about it. I'll give you 3 today. Number 1 is driving for dollars. Now this can be done virtual. I'm not going to dive into that today because that's a whole segment on its own, but you can also do this in person. And what I love about Drive for Dollars is 30% of the leads I find would not normally end up on any other list that you can pull from like tools like PropStream or Batch Leads or things like that, public databases, all kinds of stuff like that, right? These are things that show up because you're driving. Maybe the owner is not showing distress that adds them on a list, but the home is showing distress, okay? So you really want to target areas that will make you successful with this. This is there is a science to driving for dollars. You don't just randomly drive a random neighborhood and make tons of money. I mean, yeah, you can, but there's a science behind it. So you want to select the right neighborhoods. What are you trying to do? Are you wholesaling? Are you buying hold? Are you fix and flipping? Because that matters when it comes to the strategy for driving for dollars, because you're not going to drive somewhere that you want to own as a landlord, but it's like the hood, and you're not that kind of landlord. You don't want to be that kind of landlord. And if you do, that's great too. Then that's the area you drive, right? So where I wholesale, I don't necessarily think I'd ever own rentals in some of those areas. Some of them, yes, but some of them, no. And so looking for that and choosing areas that have like potential growth, lower competition, but have a good amount of distressed properties. But here's something really important, not a ton. You want to see that there are houses fixed up, but also houses that don't look like the house is fully fixed up. So like driving a neighborhood and you see all these beautiful homes, and then all of a sudden there's that one house that's like decrepit in the corner, right? So kind of looking for that. Now, what do you look for? Well, you look for things that are distressed, vacant, boarded up homes with holes in the window, gutters falling down, the yard hasn't been done in what looks like weeks. Neglected exteriors to some kind of capacity is really, really important. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Roofs with tarps on them. Now in Cape, we necessarily want to go with that, right? We want to go for roofs with tarps because we got hit with a hurricane and people still have tarps everywhere. But in a normal place, you need to know what's going on in the neighborhood, obviously. what should the house look like and what it doesn't. So you will see the norm of a house, and then you'll see the houses that you're like, okay, that doesn't match the norm, and so I'm going to write this down. So things like that. And you want to take really detailed notes, and we use tools like PropStream or Batch Leads or things like that, where you can record the homes a lot easier. You can favorite them, make a few notes, and then you know what it is when you go back. Because it's really important when you're talking to a seller that you know their home, you make it more personal, right? They're not just another home for you. That's not how you should treat this. So to them, it's their home, or it's a home they own. So there's some emotional ties to that in most cases. And so you want to know and be familiar of their exact home. So I take pictures, write notes, and things like that. And then it's really collecting all the property data there, talking to the sellers and giving them calls, and understanding what information about their property it is. So usually I'll have a basics, like it's a 4-3 or something like that before I get on, which my tool does that. It will do that as soon as I add it to the list while I'm driving. It will go ahead and start populating all their information so that when I call, I have it right there. I'm not wasting time. Now, this is my most successful to-date strategy. I do, out of 300 leads, you only probably talk to maybe 100 to 150 of them, like directly talk to people. And so you want to close out of 300 leads. It's a numbers game. You're going to close anywhere from like 1 to 2 deals as a new investor. Well, as a seasoned investor, it's usually anywhere from like 4 to 7. Well, with Drive for Dollars, I close 10 to 15. And it's because it's a lower competition. There's not a lot of people calling because, again, 30% of the homes don't get out of there. So I like Drive for Dollars. So even though I am completely virtual, anytime that I am in the areas that I invest, my 2 main markets, I do spend the afternoon driving, and it makes it that whole entire trip a business expense because I go to Drive for Dollars and work as well. So you have that one. So Driving for Dollars is my favorite. I would love feedback on anyone that has done that. Good morning to everybody. But anyone that has done Drive for Dollars, go ahead and give me your feedback, what you love about it, what you hate about it, things like that, okay? So that one's my favorite. It also gets me into the field, which makes me really happy because I work from home, which is my choice. I love it. But to get out and do things is also nice too. Then we have evictions. And a lot of people will not go through the task it takes to handle evictions. Now, Laura, she had to go through crazy amount of talking to, I think it was like 6 different offices before she even got to the person that handles the evictions. And I'm pretty sure it was between 2 buildings that she kept having to walk through in St. Louis. And then it ended up being a link. And then once you got the link, you had to go through it and decipher the different types of evictions, what you were looking for. So we learned and then taught our VA. Everything is different. Every city is different. So you have to find what works for you. And the reason this one has been so successful is a lot of investors do not put in the time and effort it takes to get this list pulled and the time that it needs to be pulled, and then go through finding the list because they just go the easy way. They go and buy it off of someone else. Well, what do you think's happening on the list you're buying from somebody else? They already went through it and just gave you the ones that were no good. So kind of thinking about that and understanding the evictions, and you need to understand the eviction process. So we have a whole training for our students on the eviction. So students watching, you already know the details of this, or you need to go to that training if you're interested. But I find a lot of seller leads, especially since COVID and everything. And so understanding the eviction process, evictions occur when landlords need to regain possession of their home, of a property. And this can be due to non-payment, lease issues, other reasons, violations, things like that. The people that are in their house that they don't like, they're not paying. It could be a number of things. They're not keeping up with it. They're destroying their home, stuff like that. And so think about that. That is a seller that's frustrated and aggravated. They're going through an eviction process. Depending on where the eviction process is, it can be a really grueling experience. And so you want to access those public records. And so you can visit your local courthouse like we did, and then we got a link to a website. Some are just posted on the website. They'll maintain records of eviction cases. You can look at the legal notices, so for things coming up eviction-wise, and reach out to those. They sometimes publish them in the local newspaper, so they will contain the information you need. And then also networking with agents, people in the industry that deal with landlords, so property managers, agents, attorneys, all great things, and making those connections there. Your network, will build your net worth. Make sense? So what do you think about that? Has anyone tried evictions at all? I'm looking into the chat here. Exactly. I love driving around and seeing homes that are falling apart. As sad as that sounds, because then it's like, okay, that's great for me. I can help them. But it's also, you're helping the sellers, right? You're helping the sellers because they can't keep up with it, and maybe they feel trapped. You don't know the story until you talk to them, but maybe they're feeling trapped. So being able to be able to help them, like if you hear one of our coaches' stories, you could have to come to the retreat to hear it, but she talks about that, how if one investor would have just reached out to her, it would have saved her years of humiliation and embarrassment, right? And the shame for her sons and stuff like that. So it's really important that you kind of look into that and talk about that, okay? Then the next thing is inbound leads, okay? This is like PPC ads, pay per click, Facebook, Google, things like that. Now this is for somebody that has a budget, okay? I'm giving you the 3 of 6 ways. So you have to have kind of a budget here, because you have to do it on a bigger scale, several $1,000s a month in leads, in budget to pay for inbound leads. But in today's digital world, that is how things are. Everybody is digital. They're online. I mean, a lot of you found us through ads, right? So it's maximizing the ad industry and doing online ads. So you want to start with keywords that will become successful for you. So like sell my distressed property, you see the We Buy Ugly houses, cash home buyers, will pay cash for your home, things like that, where it will get people to stop. The hook lines. So you can research hook lines to get people to stop, and that should be your very first sentence. And then some kind of like really nice eye-grabbing image. But you want to select high converting keywords to maximize your success here. And then you need like a targeted PPC campaign. So setting up targeted ad campaigns on platforms like Google and Facebook ads is really important. Your ad copy matters. Like I was telling you, the keywords, everything you use. But even when you target people, who are you targeting? Is there a select group, a range? Facebook, Google ads give you this way of doing that to target people really effectively. But you'll have to understand that, and this is a whole science. This is a full-time job for some people to run people's ad. I know for us, it's a full-time job for our person to run our ads and keep up with the metrics. And then speaking of that, you have to track and optimize constantly. Ads and what works changes. So you have to track the performance. I say like KPI, key performance indicators. You're measuring your results. You do that for everything in real estate. You do that for your ads. So you need to analyze the data, and in turn you need to make data-driven adjustments, okay? So that you can improve your ROI, your return on investment. So you want to be able to have these ads coming in, but it has to be worth it. So yeah, maybe you pay $3,000 a month in ads, but you close $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 in closings a month, would be worth it, right? But if I'm paying $3,000 in ads and I close a deal and make $3,000, $4,000, and $3,000 of that went to the ads, not worth it. You have to readjust. You have to figure out what's going on. But once you figure it out, it starts becoming this cash king, right? This cash like monetization way. And so my best ways are A/B testing, which is split testing the ads to see which works. So it might be the same type of campaign, but different landing pages, different ads, and things like that. And then having this ongoing campaign. Now, to anyone that's not, hey, sorry, there's people at my thing and my dog is freaking out. So to anyone at my window, cutting the lawn. So to anyone that's like, that can go over a lot of people's head. That's not into ads or marketing and things like that. So then what I would recommend is doing the first 2 and then hiring somebody to help you that has knowledge and helping you with your campaigns, okay? So yeah, you have the Drive for Dollars. Sorry, I was reading comments. You have Drive for Dollars, you have Evictions, and then you have pay-per-click campaigns, inbound leads. That's the top 3 of what I'm doing. There's 6 different lists I pull, 1 a week, of different types of things, going through those lists, constantly cultivating. Why I have not adjusted it is because why change what works? I don't need to add other things. I'm doing well. I like what I'm doing. Yes, I could add another ones, add another weeks, but why switch what's working for me? Okay, so are you wanting the eviction list to try and see if the landlord wants to sell? Yeah, these are people that are probably going to want to sell. You might have asked that before I said that. I'm just seeing it now because I just looked at the comments. But yeah, you are wanting to see if people want to sell their home that they're dealing with an eviction. Get it off their plate, right? Okay, so I hope this was good. Now into the comments though, I would love to know what leads are working for you, because this may help other ladies that are like, hey, I'm not tech savvy. I'm not doing a virtual aspect. What can I do? So I love it. Yes, Wendy, I include my son. So we go drive for dollars and he loves it because every deal we get from the list, we put $500 towards anything. It's a big thing for him, but he likes to go and I like to involve him. And then out of closing, whatever goes to closing, he gets $500 and half goes in his savings and half sits where he can spend it on vacations or on games and things like that. Seems like a lot for an 11-year-old, but he comes and he actually does help me a lot. He will sit there, he'll take the notes, he'll take pictures for me so that I can focus on driving. He favorites the little homes on my app and all of that, so it's great. Yes, we do virtual drive for dollars and we do teach about it within our program on how to virtually drive for dollars. I talked about it in the beginning of this. It's just a little too much for me to teach today during a live, but I can always bring that up. Okay, so let me see. I'm just reading some comments over here because I can see your name. I can't see your names on this. I can see it on my other screen, but it tells me it's coming through. Okay, I use PropStream. Amanda, if you can give our link, we have a 7-day free trial. I use PropStream. There's other ones like Batch Leads. We have a link to that too where you can get a discount. So I'll have them post that in there. So talking about that, I'm going to say something and people are going to like roll their eyes, but we are actually doing a retreat here and it's in a couple of weeks. It's October 13th through the 15th. This is the last one for a year. We used to do them 3 times a year. We are switching things up. Hey, Marcella. We are switching things up. And so that means that this is the last retreat. Well, you'll be able to come and spend a couple days with us on this capacity for a year. There are going to be smaller events and things like that, but we are talking about these 3 leads in detail at the retreat. We're also talking about other leads in detail at the retreat. So if you are wanting to come, this is the last option you're going to get to come on this kind of capacity for a year. We have only one more city event planned for the next 9 months outside of that. So there's things that are changing within our company to do different things. We're trying different avenues. We're going to do possibly a cruise we've been talking about for next summer. But for now, these are the last options to come and see us in person for the rest of the year. Is this retreat, and then we'll do maybe a city event. We're still kind of fixing that up at the end of the year. But yeah, so I would highly recommend, my team is going to put a link to the retreat here into the chat. But I recommend that if you are serious about it, you're trying to level up, you have tried to reach your goals in 2023 and haven't, then you want to come to this retreat while you can. We have 6 coaches in there. All of them walk the talk. They're the coaches of the REIW team. They all walk the talk. They were all investors that we asked to start coaching. Some of them did not, none of them coached before we had them become coaches, okay? So these are actual investors sharing what works. We will talk about it. We will share a lot of the leads. We'll share how we're finding buyers. You're going to have lenders there. You're going to have title companies to talk to, things like that. And this is the last of its kind for a year with the REIW team. So we are just kind of, I'm really harping on that because after that, and every time I get people that message that say when we're going to do another one, that they missed it, that they wish they would have came every single time. And unfortunately, this will be the last option. So seller leads, we talked about it. Now, I would love to know which one speaks to you guys the most into the comments, right? Which one speaks to you guys the most? I'm going to see if anyone, there's a delay, but even on YouTube, which one speaks to you the most? Which one would you like to try moving forward? Let's see if anyone replies. Come on, there's like 27 of you. See. Okay, well, all right, evictions. Evictions is a good one. So, Drive for Dollars seems optimal for me. Yeah, so one of the things I like is if you notice, the ones that I mentioned are the ones that aren't commonly talked about because people, it takes more work. Like Drive for Dollars is talked about, but evictions takes more work. But the lead source that takes the most work has the highest return because other investors, they're lazy. They don't want to do it. They want to do the easy stuff. They want to pull a list of just the entire neighborhood and just call them, or they want to do stuff that's given to them and then wonder why there's so much competition. But the things that take more work have less competition because people don't want to do it. They don't want to do all those stuff. So I hope that this was super helpful today. I don't think I received, that's not good. Team, I didn't get a raffle winner. So my team is supposed to send me a raffle winner every single day. Let me double check though. Oh, great. I don't think I got one. So I will come back and do that live. So the raffle though this week, let's see what's going on. My team's messaging me now, so maybe they did pull it. Give me 1 second. Stand by. While we're doing that, feel free to tell me what you're working on. Stand by. See, sometimes it just happens. I'm not going to even stress about it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to, it was the 500 skip trace leads. So I am going to come back and let it do. How do you get entered into the raffle? And that happens. Sometimes things slip. How you get entered in the raffle is you come into our Facebook group, ask the 3 questions, or answer the 3 questions so we let you in, and then you just start commenting. We're trying to build a community here, and so we reward the people that interact the most. We appreciate all of you, but we reward the people that interact the most as just kind of a thank you for helping us build the community. So they said I did get it. I don't see it. No, I didn't. Oh well. So that's okay. So I'm going to come back and announce that. I apologize. I'll come back and announce that once I have that, because they have to go through and see who's commented the most and then take the top 3. They spin a wheel. It's not something I can just do right here. So I'm going to let that happen. Okay. They did just send me it. Comment the top 3. Okay. All right. So our winner of this week, I must have been quick. They must have realized when the live started. Okay. So our winner for this week is Denise Cole. Denise, you are the winner. So you can just email into Amanda. Sorry about that headache. You can email into Amanda and she will get you your raffle winning. So you earned a skip trace list of seller leads in an area of your choice. So email in with the zip codes you would like us to skip trace the list for, and we will get that to you. So I hope that this was super helpful. I apologize for that small delay, but that's okay. Things happen, and that's what happens when you do it live. So other than that, I'm going to let you guys go. I am going to go about my own day. I have a bunch of meetings today, a bunch of things going on. But I hope that this was helpful to give you a general idea of the different types of things. Pick one, study on it, learn how to do it, master it, and then you can add another. And before you know it, you'll have 6 different lists going at any single time. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, everyone.